All right, I'm sitting down for this one and not holding my phone, so I can talk a little bit longer, because after a few minutes my arm gets sore and then I can't speak anymore. Ready to go. Yeah, night one was pretty wild. What happened? So I went to the front of the room, got my bed set up in a corner, which I didn't love at first. I felt like the energy might get stuck there, but it all worked out just the way it's supposed to. But it was in front, close to the shamans and close to the music, where I like to be, just to feel the energy a little bit more. And so I was one of the first people to go up and drink. And this week seems pretty full. I heard there's around 80 or 90 people. Can't quite tell, but it sounds about right. So it takes them a long time to serve everyone, even with 2 lines going. So I'm one of the first people to drink. And I go back to my mat. And what I like to do is sit up straight, like really in a power pose, and give my gratitude and my surrender and my trust and my love to Ayahuasca, and ask her to be gentle, whatever that means. Not because I'm afraid of what will come up, just let's do this gently. It doesn't have to be rough, just like life. Life doesn't have to be rough. It can be gentle. We can choose for it to be gentle. But the experience can still be powerful. And so I do that, and then I don't have my mantra beads anymore because they were swept away in the ocean off my neck. It was meant to be. But I have a little bracelet with beads. So I took that and just thinking about the people that I care about and who I want to send love to. And I was thinking about the things that I love about them. I got this from Blue. It's a beautiful tip, is to just get into a state of love as the medicine is starting to work. And it's a helpful way to transition and to get activated. And so I start with, I do myself first. I'm gonna give myself love, tell myself what I love about me. And then Davina, the kids, siblings, parents, in-laws, friends. By the time I was at the end of the bracelet, things were starting to activate and to happen. Next thing I know, I'm like, okay, I think I need to just like lean back and go for a ride here. So I'll lean back, lie down, and this toad appears. And as some of you may know, I did Bufo a few days ago, which is a psychedelic that comes off the back of a toad. And so the toad just picks me up, and I hop on it, and it's toad at the bottom, universe, like open skies over it. I just take off. And didn't go anywhere specific, just like cruise the universe. And as fast as that took off, I came right back. The way I understood it is that was like a recall of my Bufo experience, but this time I was able to see what happens and hold on to the memory a little bit better, because when you do Bufo, it's so strong, your mind isn't there with you. That was cool, but I came back and I was like, that was it. And I look and the line is still going. Shit, it's gonna be a long night if that's all I do. And then I start feeling into this stomach pain that I had around my chakra. And I did the cleanse the day before. So it made sense that I was a little bit sensitive in that area, but it was really lingering, and it felt like the pain was trying to get my attention for something. And so I brought my hands to it and just tried to feel into what that was. And I was like, oh, okay, safety. And then I started thinking about safety. And generally, I feel safe about where I am, but I told myself, when else have I felt this way? What's the furthest point that I can go back in? And I was brought back to a moment. I didn't even see the whole moment. I just saw my hand in my mom's hand, like as a kid, and letting go of her hand, like first day of school, and be like, you're on your own, but you're still 3, 4, 5 years old when you do that. And yeah, I just felt how you feel a little less safe when that happens and you internalize it. I remember crying when I would go to daycare, and all first days of school were always a little bit nerve-wracking. And I thought of our kids and how they have to go through that as well. And it's just life. It's not particularly sad, start crying about it, but I understood that I was maybe holding on to some of that pain in that part of my body, and just to recognize it was a good thing. The pain actually didn't go away for the rest of the night. And no doubt it was related to the cleanse, but also all of the energy that circulated, which I'll get to in a moment, had a lot to do with safety. I think safety was a big topic for me during the ceremony. So then I knew I would need to drink more. I would have to go up and do a second cup. Some people were starting to go on their own. And so I got in line as well before they even called it. and they served everyone ahead of me, but for some reason not me. Like someone came up to me, like one of the helpers was like, please go back and wait for them to call the second cup. And I understand the shamans, like they have to set the stage and hold the space and control the energies. They can't just be serving when the moment isn't right. I showed my appreciation for the helper and for telling me, and I went back to sit down. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to like now face the decision when they're like, who feels called for a second cup? Please come up. That I was gonna have to wrestle with that decision, but my mind was made up. I was like, I know I'm gonna go. And it was very quiet, like the first hour and a half. There's some music playing, but it was quiet and not much was happening. Nobody was like really purging. There's not much action. It really felt like ayahuasca was just like slithering through the room, trying to feel everything and get a sense of everyone. And I was like, I already went so far, like the fuck. So then they call for the second cup. I get up with confidence. I'm like, I know I'm gonna do this. I end up more or less medium in line, but there's less people the second time. So it goes a little faster. Take it down. A lot of people come with their bucket. They're like, I know as soon as this touches my lips, it's coming right out. And that's what happened to me last time we were here. I couldn't down the second cup. And this time I was like, I'm feeling good. First one sat well in my body. I don't even need a bucket. And I just shoot it back. I got this. Plus my mat super close to the front, so I'm okay. So I take it down. I go back to my mat. Same thing. Sit up straight. Feeling like confident, ready. I feel more open this time too. There's less fear. I know something's gonna happen and I'm just ready for it. And then I can't remember if this was after the first cup or second cup. I really felt like the energy, like wanting to open up in my third eye. And last time I needed help from praying mantis to come and just poke me in the forehead to pop the bubble and release me onto like the energy field. And this time I was like, you know what? I can do this. I know how to do this. So I just start peeling away with my hands. And literally all I had to do was just like this, open it up. And there I was in DMT hyperspace. The best way I can describe it is when you slice a mango and you cut the cubes in it and then you flip it in order to be able to cut off the cubes. That's what hyperspace is. Like our life is the mango, like the normal shape. And then you flip it and it's like, oh, this is also life, but it's the other side of it. And it feels just as real as this like 3D like body. And I just leaned back as I was going on a voyage. And aliens, I think it was two or three cute little gray aliens show up in the little spaceship, come with us. And so I feel myself come out of my body and go on this voyage with them. And we basically ended up in what I describe as the pinball of infinity, where there's no time, there's no space, everything is infinite, and you feel like you're in a pinball because there's a lot of action, things coming at you, sounds like ding, 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 and it's coming at you fast. If not a pinball, maybe a Beat Saber, like the video game where like music is timing and like things are coming at you and you have to dodge them and like that's really what it felt like. And I quickly, intuitively knew and understood that my role was to work with the energy that was there and to shuffle it and alchemize the negative into love and to send it where it needs to go and protect myself and protect others, protect the space from everything that's going on. And I could feel that's what the shamans and the helpers were doing as well. And the energies were coming from the people who had heavy, dense, low vibrational energy to release. And it was also coming from the outside and from the universe. It's coming at us from like all angles, from the inside and from the outside. And the way I would move the energy was through shaking, snapping my fingers, moving my hands like in a dancing motion, blowing, doing all kinds of crazy things with my body. And I was aware that my body was there like under me, and my sacral chakra, like my lower abdomen region, was like the energetic sensor for what was going on. So it knew what to do, but my awareness was like in this infinite hyperspace. That's the best I can describe it. And yeah, I was in it for a very long time, and under me, it was a loop. It was a lot of looping because it was infinite. It was almost like a roulette or like a lottery mixer thing, bingo mixer. It was like spinning under me, and I knew that was like all of the lives that are possible, all infinite possibilities. and they were like between my body and my awareness, which is again in infinite hyperspace. And it would stop. I didn't look into it, like I was like so far in deep space but I knew that's what it was doing. I knew that it was infinite, and it would stop, and then I would move the energy again, and then it would roll again. It was really like being in a pinball, like someone having a really good game, like they know what they're doing, and it's just never ending. And so myself and the aliens and the shamans and the helpers were all like moving all of this energy. And then I started understanding like that's what life is. It's all energy. Yes, we have these like dense 3D bodies so that we can experience something that is not this like energetic field, because it's cool, like it's a wonderful experience. I'm glad I got to do it. And I believe that's part of where we go, like when we die. So yeah, I understood that's what life is. Life is all energy, all of it, the negative, the positive, the loving, the anger, the sadness, the joy. It's all of it, and it comes from everywhere and everything. And when there's too much heavy negative energy, that's when we fall asleep and we disconnect from our divine selves. We disconnect from the love. We disconnect from the joy that's available to us. And that's what shows up as depression and other diseases and other, negative energies. I understood that in the hyperspace world. I was like, I understand. And when I started understanding is when I realized I didn't want to be like, I think there's people who really enjoy like being in this infinite hyperspace and going really far. I'm more of a earth being. I don't need to be like completely on the ground, like 1 foot on earth, 1 foot in the hyperspace. That's really where I like things. I like to do both. And so I was brought back a little bit into my body, and then I felt the exact same thing. That's what's incredible. I kept saying like, this is a mirror of this. This 3D is a mirror of this universal infinite energy. And it's just on a different scale. That's it. It's just on a different scale and with more 3D to it. And I started to feel the energy more in the room instead of like out in the universe, and feeling people who were struggling, sending them love. And at the same time, still protecting my own bubble and the bubble of our loca, the bubble of the space. I could start really seeing how the shaman, Chris, was organically, like permaculture, organically had set up like this beautiful camp for all of us. It was like very safe to be in it. Like we were protected, and every once in a while, like more negative energy would try to enter it, but the love that was in the room was enough to just keep everything safe. Sometimes we would make it in and we just alchemize it into love and send it back. And I could tell like the helpers, like they're very strong, like mentally, like they sit there and they're helping move the energy as well. And they go in and help people move theirs. And I wanted to join in on that. I was like, we need to look out for this camp. This is our role. Like we look out for each other. We look out for this. And so I was able to sit up, even though I was high as fuck. I was able to sit up and be with the medicine and be with the energies, like while sitting instead of like glued into my mat. And then once in a while I would feel depleted because I had moved a lot of energy, and it would lie back down. But instead of like allowing myself to like really go deep into like the heaviness, I'd be like, okay, rest is good, but not too much rest. So I would rest until I would feel replenished and then set myself back up. And I understood the message that came to me super clearly is the magic is tending to the garden. The magic is tending to the garden. And the garden is my body. It's Davina. It's the kids. It's our friends. It's the earth. It's our passions. It's our creativity. It's loving others. It's being in joy, in flow. It's tending to all of those things. And when you're aware of it and you tend to them through your intuition and through your like place of genuine honesty, that's where and when the magic is. And it just made so much sense. And I was like, I understand. And I felt like I understood everything. And I know there's a lot of other things for me to learn, But that was such a beautiful felt lesson. Like I just felt it. When you feel it, like that's really when it registers with you. Those wondering about what happened to the aliens, when I started coming back into my body, we hugged, we said goodbye, and they left. From there, I felt like the energy of the space of our camp. It really felt like a camp, like in the Maloka and outside. It was like, I've never been to Burning Man, but it's what I imagine your little camp feels like. It's like this bubble. I felt like our camp was under control and it was safe for me to get up and go outside. And I do this thing at the beach in Samara, and I lie down with my shirt off on my belly on the beach, and I just give the earth a big hug. And I just wanted to do the same thing here. And I kept my shirt on because there's a lot of picky stuff in the dark here, but I lie down on the earth and we just like exchange this like beautiful like gratitude and love for each other. Like, thank you for all of the protection that you provide us with and all of the love that you feed us, and I will do my best to do the same for you, Earth. And I knew I was just a steward of the land and of this earth, and it's precious and sacred, and we all need to do our part to tend to the garden. And I turned over onto my back and I could see the sky just like full of stars, and I could feel like earth like almost like it was curved, and the trees down there just like whoa at the stars. And I saw shooting stars, which obviously aren't actually stars, they're just space debris flying into the atmosphere. And Mother Earth has this protective cocoon of the atmosphere, and it just burns whatever is trying to enter. It was a reflection of the hyperspace that I was in, where shit was coming at me and I was just trying to transform it and get rid of it. Earth does the same thing. It's like a mirror. It's a mirror, and we are a mirror of that as well on an even smaller scale. Like, it's a lot of like external energies and things that come at us, and if we don't like know how to move it out and process it, it gets stuck in our body and then heavy and dense and low. That's why we have to keep moving and exercise, dance, sing, do the things that excite you, just like live so you can move like this energy out. And so I was just so grateful for Earth for protecting us in that way as well. And then I went back inside, I enjoyed the music, and I did more of it. I stayed in that space for a very long time. That was it. Took a long time to come back fully into my body, and the music is just so lovely, and a lot of people were having really deep experiences. I was just feeling the love for everyone and for myself. Just feeling really grateful for how my intuition knows how to move the energy, and it doesn't accumulate to the point that I feel the need to violently purge afterwards. It can be gentle. And I find shaking and moving, even if it's like for hours on end, I find that to be more gentle than like puking and shitting. So I always appreciate it when that happens. And doing the 14-day dieta before that was helpful as well, I think. Just come in with a clean vessel and not have anything that needs to be cleaned out by Mother Ayahuasca. So hot tip, if you are thinking about sitting with the plants, try it. Try to do the 14-day dieta, which you can find online. Try to stop caffeine, get rid of caffeine at least 4-6 weeks before any other medications, plants 6-8 weeks before. And it's hard. It is hard. And try to cut out social media and the news leading up to it as well. Do whatever you're capable of doing. Just do your best to get yourself in the best shape possible so that you can be there for yourself and you don't have to spend time with the plant releasing the things that you could have done ahead of time. Ended the night just by traveling to Max in his sleep, to Charlie in her sleep, to Davina in her sleep, and just giving all of them like big hugs, and just reflecting on what tending to the garden can look like and what I want my life to be and how I want it to feel. Still sitting with that and feeling into it. I'm excited to go back in for night 2. We ended at 2:30 in the morning, which is very late. I slept only until about 7:47. That's when I saw the time, which has been a bit of a auspicious number for me the last year. So I got about 5 hours of sleep, and I feel energized still. And Again, nervous, again, excited to go back in. I'm excited to see what the lessons are. My mind is telling me that it's going to be a repeat, but it's never a repeat. But maybe there's a fuller expression, maybe there's a different expression that's meant more for me. I would love to go more into my body or more into nature and understand how all of that works. I really feel like I'm in the school of life and I'm learning different things. That's it for now. Stay tuned for a recap of ceremony number 2.